Oglan Bizim Kiz Bizim is an enchanting Turkish romantic comedy that follows the story of two individuals whose personalities couldn't be any different, but fate has other plans for them. On one hand, we have Zeynep, a passionate and hardworking girl who works for a wedding organization company. She's been in a blissful relationship with her boyfriend for 5 years, and believes that he's the one she's going to spend the rest of her life with. On the other hand, we have Barış, an auto mechanic working in his father's family automobile shop, who has a cynical view of love and doesn't believe in it. One day, while Zeynep and Barış are going about their day, they accidentally tune into the same radio channel. A beautiful song starts playing, which they both are familiar with. The radio presenter announces that whoever can correctly guess the year the song was released will win a vacation ticket for 2 to Antalya. Zeynep and Barış both know the answer and quickly call in, hoping to win the prize. As luck would have it, they both get the answer right, and they're declared the winners. Zeynep is over the moon with excitement, and calls her boyfriend right away and invites him to dinner to share the good news. Her boyfriend agrees to meet, saying that he also has something important to discuss with her. This makes Zeynep even more excited, because she thinks that her boyfriend is going to propose to her tonight. Zeynep, who continues on her way cheerfully, arrives at work and tells everything to her closest friend. Two young girls jump with happiness and start laughing and crying with joy as they think about the upcoming wedding. However, little does Zeynep know that the dinner is not going to be as she imagined it. As the night unfolds, she'll discover that her boyfriend's plans are not what she expected, and her life is about to take a whole new turn. Meanwhile, Barış is equally thrilled about the vacation ticket he won. He decides to take his best friend with him on the trip, and they start planning their perfect getaway. However, Barış's father is not too happy about the vacation plan. He expects Barış to stay in town and focus on finding himself a bride to marry. Barış's father approaches him with a pouting face, reminding him of his usual saying, that a man needs to find a wife and settle down. But Barış is not fazed by his father's words. He's determined to enjoy his vacation. With a happy face, he jokingly tells his father that he'll bring a bride back with him when he returns. As the vacation progresses, Zeynep's excitement turns to disappointment when she meets her boyfriend for dinner. She eagerly waits for him to share his own news, but instead, he delivers a crushing blow. He wants to take a break from their relationship. Zeynep is stunned and heartbroken, unable to even bring up the topic of their vacation ticket. She leaves the table, feeling betrayed and confused. She confides in her best friend Berna, who tries her best to cheer her up and convinces Zeynep to continue with their vacation plans together, just the two of them. As the day of their vacation arrives, both Zeynep and Barış arrive at the airport, each with their friends. But a small misunderstanding during baggage claim leads to their first coincidence. Barış and his friend Emrah accidentally take Zeynep's suitcase instead of their own, leaving Zeynep frustrated and angry. She almost starts to go crazy, thinking that her original brand suitcase has been stolen. But just as she's about to lose her temper completely, she notices Barış holding her suitcase from afar. Zeynep rushes over to start yelling, accusing him of stealing her luggage. Barış tries to explain that it was an honest mistake, but Zeynep's anger only grows when he can't even tell the difference between her expensive branded suitcase and his own. Their coincidental encounters continue as they exit the airport, and the radio station they both called earlier greets all four of them together. Zeynep and Barış's tension only grows as they learn that they will be participating in all the tours and activities together as a group of 4. Things get even more complicated when they meet their tour guide at the hotel they are staying in. It turns out that they have been paired together for all their activities, and they will have to spend a lot of time together. With that, they continue to insult each other even more. The tension between the two couples reaches its peak when Barış and his friend decide to play pranks on Zeynep and her friend, making them regret coming on vacation. They sneak into the girls' room and play disgusting pranks, like rubbing their toothbrushes in the toilet and filling their cologne bottles with urine. They even stick gum on their pillows, hoping to make their hair stick. The girls, however, are not the type to let things go without retaliation. They come up with a plan to take revenge on the boys. In the morning, while having breakfast in the hotel cafeteria, they notice the boys' plates and decide to pour constipating powder on their food. After days of constant bickering and fighting, the tension between the two sides has reached a boiling point when they find themselves at the hospital. But finally, they decide to call a ceasefire and apologize to each other. The weight lifts off their shoulders. They realize that they have come to this beautiful place for vacation, and they should make the most of it. So, the 4 friends, Zeynep, Berna, Barış, and Emrah, decide to forget everything and start afresh. They spend the day engaging in various activities, playing paintball, sea volleyball, and exploring the town together. They laugh, they joke, and they enjoy each other's company. As the evening falls, they head back to their hotel, exhausted but happy. The next day, the guide planned to go horse riding, but a sudden phone call to the girls disrupts their plans. It's an urgent business matter, and they have to head back to the city immediately. However, Berna can see that Zeynep is still struggling to cope with the breakup, and she knows that her friend needs more time to heal. So Berna convinces her friend to go back to the city alone, and to let Zeynep stay behind for a little while longer. And so, as Berna leaves, the others spend the next few days exploring the town, trying new things, and helping Zeynep to move on from her painful past. After bidding farewell to Berna at the airport, Zeynep, Baris, and Amra are left to continue their vacation together. They are determined to make the most of their time, and so they engage in various thrilling activities. From parachuting to going on a boat tour in the sea, they are having the time of their lives. But things are about to get even more exciting. Their tour guide suggests that they turn their upcoming camping trip in the forest into a survival challenge. He divides them into groups of 2 and instructs them to find something to light a fire in the evening. Zeynep and Baris are paired up as a team. As they walk through the forest, Baris makes sure to stay ahead of Zeynep, leading the way and keeping her safe. However, as time passes, Baris realizes that he has lost his sense of direction, and they are now lost in the wilderness. Zeynep tries to call for help, but she soon gives up. Exhausted, she leans against a tree, hoping to rest for a bit. Baris sits down next to her, and to lighten the mood, he asks her what she likes the most. As they talk, Zeynep begins to open up to Baris. She shares her thoughts, dreams, and aspirations with him, and he listens intently. It's then that she realizes that Baris is trying to get to know her. The tension between them begins to dissipate, and they find themselves laughing and enjoying each other's company. They ask each other multiple questions about their private lives, and the more they talk, the stronger the attraction between them grows. Baris mentions that he has never fallen in love, which surprises Zeynep. She wonders if he ever wanted to fall in love, and the question seems to excite both of them. They are drawn to each other like magnets, and just as Baris is about to make his move and kiss her, the tour guide suddenly appears and leads the way for them. They reluctantly follow, but the memory of that moment stays with them for the rest of the day. After a day filled with adventure and excitement, Zeynep and Baris return to the hotel for dinner. Amra leaves to meet new people, leaving the 2 alone at the dinner table. Baris can't help but notice that Zeynep is constantly looking at her phone, and he asks her if she's waiting for a message. Zeynep hesitates at first, but with Baris's reassuring presence, she admits that she is waiting for a message from her ex-boyfriend. Baris's intuition is spot on, and he even guesses that they have recently broken up. Zeynep is surprised, but also a little defensive about Baris's ability to read her so well. But Baris doesn't judge her or pry into her personal life. Instead, he offers to listen and give his opinion from a male perspective. Zeynep is taken aback by his kindness and willingness to help. As they talk, Baris tries to cheer Zeynep up by jokingly saying that as a mechanic, there is nothing he can't fix, from broken motorbikes to broken hearts. Zeynep can't help but laugh, and for the first time in days, she feels like she can let her guard down and be herself around him. As the night draws on, Baris and Zeynep find themselves sitting around the pool, enjoying a delicious red wine after dinner. Baris, being a bit of a smooth talker, starts making guesses about Zeynep, trying to get to know her better. He speculates that she probably likes red wine, just like most women do. Zeynep can't help but wonder how he knows so much about women, yet remains single. When she asks him why he isn't in a relationship, Baris quickly changes the subject, saying that tonight is all about her, not him. He wants to hear more about Zeynep's past relationships and help her move on. So, she opens up and talks about her ex, crying, laughing, and questioning everything. After a couple of hours of talking and drinking, Zeynep starts to lose control and gets drunk. Baris doesn't want her to make a scene at the pool, so he suggests they take a walk by the seaside. The atmosphere is perfect, and Zeynep seems to be enjoying herself, but suddenly, she vomits all over Baris, ruining the moment. Not being able to take Zeynep back to the hotel, they sleep the night at the seaside together. The sun is high up in the sky when Zeynep opens her eyes to find herself lying on the soft sand of the beach. She can't remember how she got there, or what had happened the previous night. Panic sets in as she worries that something inappropriate might have happened between them. Zeynep wakes Baris up with a start, her voice filled with anger and confusion. She demands to know if he took advantage of her in any way. But Baris can tell from her demeanor that she genuinely can't remember what happened. He reassures her that nothing happened between them, and she slowly calms down. Over lunch, Zeynep pours her heart out to Baris, thanking him for being there for her when she was so drunk she couldn't even remember her own name. She feels incredibly guilty for making a scene, and blaming him for her drunken actions. Baris, being the understanding guy he is, assures her that he isn't bothered by any of it. As they chat away, Zeynep's phone buzzes. Baris can't help but wonder if there is still a spark between her and her ex-boyfriend. Zeynep is taken aback by the question, as it's obvious to her that she's head over heels in love with him, since it's been 5 years. But then Baris throws her a trick question, asking if her boyfriend has ever looked her in the eyes and said, "I love you," in the 5 years they have been together. Zeynep is forced to ponder the question, even though she knows the answer deep down. Despite her attempts to make excuses for her ex-boyfriend's behavior, Baris is having none of it. He gives her some tough love, telling her that any guy worth his salt should be able to express his love openly and honestly. Zeynep is still struggling to come to terms with this reality, but Baris is there to support her every step of the way. He even takes her phone away to prevent her from calling her ex, knowing it will only cause her more pain. Baris can sense how much Zeynep is hurting, and he offers to help her get her ex-boyfriend back, if that's what she really wants. He is so confident in his abilities that he even says he can do it in just 3 days. Zeynep isn't quite sure what to make of Boris's offer, but she knows that he has her best interests at heart. With his help, she might even be able to find the closure she needs and move on from her past once and for all. After lunch, Zeynep sits down on a bench and pulls out her phone to make a call to her friend Berna. Despite Berna's assurances that everything is going smoothly, Zeynep wants to double-check the preparation lists herself. Berna, not wanting to argue, agrees to send Zeynep the details so she can take a look. As Zeynep is on the phone, Boris overhears her conversation and approaches her with his thoughts. He points out that Zeynep seems to be a total control freak, even to the point of not trusting her best friend to do their job properly. Zeynep attempts to deny Boris's assumptions, but he sees right through her. He tells her that her controlling tendencies and workaholic behavior are unattractive, and that no one is interested in people like that. Boris also offers some harsh advice, telling her that if she genuinely wants to get back with her ex-boyfriend, she needs to change her ways. Zeynep can't deny the fact that she agrees with Boris, as much as it hurts her to admit it, that maybe she is getting a little too predictable and boring. However, Boris quickly assures her that she won't be boring anymore, because he is going to help her change, and boy does he mean it. Throughout the day, Boris is like a personal coach, correcting Zeynep's habits left and right. He puts a stop to her endless phone calls to her workers, and halts her attempts to sneak a peek at her laptop during lunch. But that is just the beginning of Boris's grand plan. Boris's ultimate goal is to make Zeynep's ex-boyfriend jealous, and to do that, she needs to take a lot of genuine pictures with Boris, and post them on social media. The idea is to show her ex that she is more than capable of being happy without him, and to prove how vibrant and exciting her life has become since the breakup. As the sun sets, Boris and Zeynep head to the hotel bar to continue their fun-filled day. But things take a romantic turn when the DJ calls them out and plays the song that won them the lottery for the vacation. To make things even more interesting, the DJ hands them each a microphone and encourages them to sing along. Boris looks deep into Zeynep's eyes as he starts to sing, and she eventually joins in. They dance and sing together, lost in the moment and lost in each other. Hours pass by, and they are the only ones left in the bar. Boris continues to talk about love and its meaning, while Zeynep listens carefully, hanging on to his every word. As the sun rises over the hotel, Boris wakes up feeling nervous but excited. The previous night was magical, and he is eager to confess his love for Zeynep. He picks up a flower pot and starts practicing his lines in front of the mirror, but his nerves get the best of him. He decides to take a swig of vodka to calm his nerves, but he ends up chugging the whole bottle. Imra walks in just in time to see Boris finishing the bottle, and quickly takes it away from him. He scolds Boris for drinking such strong alcohol in the middle of the day, but Boris is too excited to care. He explains that today is a special day, and that he is going to confess his feelings to Zeynep. Meanwhile, Zeynep is enjoying a self-care and spa day, completely unaware of what is about to happen. Imra and Boris make their way to the lobby, but Boris is too drunk to even ask the receptionist if Zeynep is in her room. As they stand there, Boris catches a glimpse of a woman who he thinks is Zeynep, and runs after her, shouting her name. The woman enters a general bathroom for women, and Boris stumbles in after her. Imra tries to stop him, but it's too late. The women inside the bathroom scream at him to get out, but Boris is too drunk to understand. Imra tries to pull him out, but a metal object thrown by a random woman inside hits him instead, knocking him out. Boris is left alone and crazy, running into every possible spa and massage room, looking for Zeynep and embarrassing himself in front of the whole hotel. It's a disaster, but Boris can't stop himself. He is determined to find Zeynep and tell her how he feels. As Boris continues to make a fool of himself on every floor of the hotel, Zeynep's phone suddenly rings, and to her surprise, it's her ex-boyfriend on the other end. She is beyond excited, but manages to answer the call with a carefree tone, trying not to let her excitement show. Her ex-boyfriend asks about her vacation, and comments on how fun it looks in the pictures she posted online. He can't help but wonder who the handsome guy is in the pictures with her. Zeynep can hardly contain her joy as she realizes that Boris's plan worked perfectly. But she knows that she can't let her ex know that. Instead, she maintains her cool and simply thanks him for the call. Her ex then reveals that he wants to make things right, and has bought a ticket to come and see her on vacation. Hearing this, Zeynep quickly runs off to the spa room to get ready. Getting sober, Boris explains his actual plan for confessing with a clear mind. He explains to Imra that he plans to confess his love to Zeynep over a fancy and well-planned dinner. Just as he is finishing his thought, Zeynep comes running down the corridor, her face glowing with excitement. She hugs Boris tightly, thanking him and his plan for working. Her boyfriend is coming to visit, and they are going to talk about their problems tonight. Boris's heart sinks as he congratulates Zeynep and pretends to be happy for her. He is feeling heartbroken and sad inside, but he puts on a brave face and wishes Zeynep all the best. As he packs his bags to leave the hotel, he can't shake the feeling that he has let his chance at love slip away. Suddenly, as he walks into the lobby, he is interrupted by a familiar voice calling his name. It's Zeynep's ex-boyfriend, who recognizes Barış from Zeynep's social media pictures. Barış wastes no time in giving him a piece of his mind, telling him not to break Zeynep's heart again, and to tell her how he truly feels about her. He even offers him the reservation he made for his own dinner with Zeynep, knowing that he doesn't need it anymore. Just as Barış is about to leave, Zeynep appears on the stairs in a stunning red dress, her hair and makeup perfectly done. The two men are left breathless by her beauty. Not wanting to witness what will come next, Barış leaves the hotel, leaving Zeynep and her ex alone to figure things out. As Zeynep enters the lavishly decorated dining area, she can't help but feel impressed by the romantic ambience. Her boyfriend has outdone himself in creating the perfect atmosphere for their dinner. Zeynep's heart swells with anticipation as she thinks about what could possibly come next. Is this the night that he is finally going to propose to her? But her excitement is quickly dashed as her boyfriend simply apologizes for the breakup and offers no real explanation for why he left her. Zeynep is disappointed, but she tries her best to hide her true feelings and smiles politely. As she makes her way to the restroom, she bumps into Emrah, who has a serious look on his face. He reveals to Zeynep that her boyfriend did not plan the dinner, and that it was actually Barış who did all the work to create this romantic evening. Zeynep is in shock and disbelief, and her heart begins to ache with sadness. Emrah explains to her that Barış has fallen in love with her, but he left when her boyfriend returned. Zeynep is further hurt when she learns that her boyfriend knows that it was Barış who organized the table, and he simply took all the credit for himself. Feeling betrayed and angry, Zeynep realizes that she has been blind to the true intentions of the people around her. She can't believe that Barış was the one to create this beautiful evening, and she is heartbroken that he left without saying goodbye. As Zeynep returns to the table, she can't look at her boyfriend the same way anymore. Zeynep's boyfriend is completely caught off guard as she slams the cake on the table right into his face. He has no idea what he did to deserve it, but Zeynep knows he deserves every bit of it. She has been played, and she isn't going to stand for it. As she storms out of the restaurant, she knows exactly where she needs to be. Meanwhile, Barış is back to his daily routine, fixing cars with his father. But when he turns around, he sees the one person he has been hoping to see. Zeynep is standing right there, holding a pink heart keychain, a memento from their vacation. Barış is taken aback, but when Zeynep asks for his forgiveness and confesses her love to him, he can't resist. He holds her tightly, confessing his love for her as well. They are so close to kissing when a radio podcast interrupts them, the same podcast they won the lottery from. It's a happy coincidence that makes them both laugh. As they look into each other's eyes, they know that they are meant to be together. It wasn't just fate, it was their love that brought them back together.